I know.
Welcome back, everybody.
Actually, stretch your lips.
Gotta limber out your face muscles. All right.
Now that we're all done stretching our lips.
Right. It's important to stretch before any kind of physical activity.
Just to make Greg uncomfortable, I'm going to add that to our Echoes break screen. Stretch your lips. Go stretch your lips, everyone.
It's also fun to stretch your lips during physical activity sometimes.
All right, but I think, Vix, if you could take us to the map screen, the good people in chat might like to see.
There we go.
Right. So we rejoin our adventurers on the shores of a murky underground lake pond welling up from somewhere far below, where placed in front of the statue of some sort of deity, it looks like, a large set of those familiar blue crystals that they've been seeing everywhere. This time not tinted purple, but almost bound in a green web of energy-like veins running around it.
Do we have a decent enough view of the statue that I could try to identify if it's like some sort of like actual god that's worshipped around here?
I'd say so. Make a religion check.
I'm not good at those, despite being a cleric. I also did not get my friggin' dice out, so digital it is. I got a 5.
It's hard to say.
So, to clarify about these crystals, are they bluish with like a web of green going through them, or
yes.
Just okay? That's what I wanted to know. I believe I was stealthing.
You were.
I don't remember what my stealth check was. I don't know.
It was good enough for me to not have to remember what the number was.
It usually is with Lyris, but you never know.
Yeah, and Wade, I will remind you, were the only one who saw something very quickly dip below the water, to the south, kind of adjacent to the crystals, but a little bit further away.
There's something in the water.
Something in the water. To the south of me, I don't know if it's just a feature of the map or something intentional. I see like these, I don't know, greenish looking stones or something. Is that anything Lyris would notice?
I would say so. Those are visible to Lyris. They're about, they're probably about this big and appear to be egg-shaped.
Perfect. That's exactly what I didn't want. Maybe they're wyverns. No.
You never know. There's a lot of room down here.
We're just gonna end up with like spiders as mounts. I mean, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give the signal that I'm going to continue south and try to scout out what we haven't seen yet, with trying to avoid actually stepping into the water, because Wade has warned me about.
Right.
I would like to keep an eye out for any more indication of this thing in the water.
Sure.
Well, he does that.
Yeah, go ahead and make another perception check for me. And Shanks, if you're walking down there, I'm gonna need an acrobatics check from you.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a 23.
Okay.
23, very good.
I don't suppose there's any chance I have inspiration.
You do not.
Okay, that's a 12 then.
Okay. That's not bad enough to dump you in the water, but you get about to where Lyris is on the map and feel like you're going to lose your footing if you go any farther and have the opportunity to stop or try and continue. But as you do around the corner there a little bit, you get a slightly better view. There appears to be behind a small pile of rocks all sorts of shinies in the mud.
Oh.
Not a particularly tall
Oh.
pile, but it's kind of mixed up in there.
Oh. I just gained a theory on what we're facing, and I'm not happy about it.
What do you think you're facing?
I think we might be dealing with a dragon in disguise.
Interesting. Do you do anything when you notice those shinies?
No,
Okay.
I'm trying not to draw attention to myself, and even though my legs are like slipping and I'm holding onto the rocks here, I'm just like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna make my way back now. I don't see anything else there. Like, I don't see any creatures.
There's no creature.
Yeah, I'm gonna head back and regroup with the others. I don't know if you need me to make any other check or anything.
No, that'll be fine to get back.
Yeah, he's gonna group up with the others and say, okay, down there is a small hoard of gold and other shinies, and there are some eggs that are unhatched, and we might be dealing with something more dangerous than we realized.
Actually, make Lyris, you can make a nature check for me if you want.
Sure. Not particularly a strong suit of mine. That is a 17 though. So
there is, I don't think Lyris has ever seen a dragon's egg before, but perhaps he has encountered, other large reptiles or just conventional reptiles, things like that. And there's something about these eggs that don't scream reptilian.
okay. I don't know. The eggs don't seem reptilian, but some of the other signs point to possibly a dragon or something.
Were they in the water, or?
They're kind of just at the edge of the water.
They're like halfway up.
Yeah,
So
like partially
perhaps
submerged.
Whatever's in the water?
Possibly, yes. For all we know, what's in the water is this imposter to Marig.
And Cam, with that 25, I'm going to say you notice before anyone else that this room starts ever so slightly filling with a fine mist.
Am I
It's kind of hard.
seeing things?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to catch at first, but you look down and then you look across the room, and details are a little bit harder to make out. And then you do it again a few seconds later, and it seems just very fine.
Does the temperature change at all? Is it like warmer or cooler or anything?
No, it remains almost tropically warm down here and very humid.
This right next to us, close to the water there, is that just like a root system of some kind?
Yeah, it's like a large root from above that's growing down.
I see. Is it like enough to provide cover and that sort of thing?
You could get partial cover behind it.
Okay. Just trying to kind of understand our surroundings, because
Yeah,
technically I think I might need to. I'm just going to say that I'm feeling outside of my element at the moment, and as a professional monster hunter, that's saying something.
Will you feel that way even once you get into the water?
I don't think that water will be too hospitable to us. Also, this mist is concerning. I mean, it seems like Fae activity, but are we actually dealing with a Fae?
And when you say that, keeping with Cam's 25 here, you can hear some soft footfalls in the wet earth coming from the opposite side of the cavern. And after a moment, unless you have an option to react to that.
Opposite side as in like across the body of water from us?
Yeah, I don't know if you can see that arrow that I just drew,
Yeah.
but it's kind of coming from up that way.
Okay, yeah.
Perfect. That's exactly what I was thinking. I
Um,
don't know if the other two were already stealthing.
we all did stealth.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't remember if you... Does this party have Pass Without Trace? Is that what we were doing?
I have it. I don't think I used it.
No, we didn't use it.
Then Cam is just like, it sounds like we have company, and she's going to sort of back up a little bit here.
Yeah, I think Lyris will kind of gesture for them both to back up a bit and kind of move to behind this tree, kind of ducking in between the roots and kind of peering over as stealthily as he can to see who's approaching.
Yeah. So after a moment, a large humanoid figure with cartoonish proportions, a beak-like nose, long ears, hunched over with taut skin pulled back on her face, comes around the corner and starts walking this way and says, I know you're over there. You came all this way just to speak to me. And if you still wish to deal, we can. Otherwise, you can die. The choice is yours.
Okay.
Cam is looking at Lyris right now.
Yeah, he's looking back at them, but also having seen her, like, based on what you're describing and based on this picture, she looks kind of like a hag, right?
Yeah.
But we don't know that that's her true form.
Yeah.
Glancing at her and then glancing back at the others, he's kind of looking at them, just like making eye contact with both of them.
Cam has her potion of invulnerability in her hand and is waiting for Lyris to indicate what they're doing.
Lyris, seeing that potion in her hand, is gonna nod at her, pull his bow off his back, and knock an arrow very carefully. And he's going to attempt to open combat with a surprise attack.
All right, y'all can attempt that, but she can, in fact, see you.
She can see me.
Yes.
Okay.
So there will be no surprise this time, but we can go ahead and roll initiative.
It's the mist, isn't it? It's the mist. Damn it. Yeah, all right, let's roll initiative then. Oh boy, this is going to be a dangerous one. I can just sense it in the air.
I got a 4.
Oh
Nice.
no.
That's all right. I got a 17.
Not bad.
I got a 12.
What's your dexterity modifier?
Mine or hers?
Vix.
0.
Okay. Let's see.
But I need my
All right.
mat now too, sorry.
All right. Then it looks like Lyris is up first.
So, even though I'm stealthing, she can see me, so I don't get sneak attack.
Correct.
Okay. I figured that was going to be a problem. All right. Well, I will fire a couple arrows at her anyway, and let's see how this goes. That's going to be a 21 to hit.
All right. Just roll up all your attacks.
Okay. Sorry, before I do that, would you consider me tossing a potion to Cam a free object interaction?
I would probably call that a bonus action.
A bonus action? Is it worth doing, or should I cast Hunter's Mark?
Your go.
You know what? You're not in range yet anyway. I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark before I fire, if that's all right then. And so that's going to be 21 to hit for the first one.
You see the figure across the lake wave out her hand as to almost knock the spell out of the air, and it lands no purchase on any creature.
Oh, she countered my Hunter's Mark.
Well,
Something like that.
Fair enough.
You did not. Wade would know that the spell counterspell was not cast. You'd be able to tell that much for sure.
That's not a counterspell.
that ain't no moon.
Is
What
that
the hell was that then?
did that house ghost, was that counterspell or was that something?
That was counterspelling.
Different.
Damn. I don't know if it's worth attempting again. Was that just like some sort of... Well, legendary resistances wouldn't work, right? Because that would be passing a saving throw,
Correct.
which this is not.
Would I be able to, like, as a reaction, can I sort of try and figure out what that was, like an Arcana check?
I'll let you can do that on your turn without taking an action.
Okay.
Okay, that's fair. Then that is cocked as hell. And that is a 16 on the set. So 21 and 16 for my arrows.
All right, roll some damage.
Okay. I was expecting you to say neither of them hit, so that's good news, I guess.
Well, I didn't say that they hit.
I would also
Okay.
like to
Okay.
remind that Cam has see invisibility for the next,
Okay.
like, probably 50 more minutes. I don't know how long it took us to get from the bottom of the hole around to here.
Yeah, you probably could have done that in 10 minutes with taking your time. You didn't stop and investigate too much.
Okay, so that's 9 damage on the first one, 10 on the second, but if she is actually taking the damage, then I'll be able to add my Hunter's Prey to the second one.
You let these 2 arrows go. Make a perception check for me, will
Sure.
you?
That is a 27.
The creature reacts as though she was struck by both arrows physically,
Mm-hmm.
but you see no blood or damage.
Do the arrows pass through her?
You can no longer see the arrows. They did not land, and if they went into her, they were absorbed.
Got it. All right, well then, yeah. I mean, bonus action down, my attack and extra attack. Lyris is just going to turn and take cover again with the tree as best he can. Maybe moving around it a little bit more to have a little bit more comprehensive cover. But as he does, he puts his back to it and he's just like, okay, 2 arrows, no damage. I don't know if she's actually standing there.
And there's just this fantastic evil cackle when she hears you, like this vexing perplexation going on the other side of the lake. It is her turn now, and let's see. Yeah. Okay, Lyris, you can see something. You can see the waves from something large moving under the water. And it stops about somewhere in this area. There's this sort of ripple that then subsides as you see something moving under the water.
As he sees that, I think he's gonna just gesture towards. He's like, I think that's her.
But in the meantime, let's see. Yeah. You can hear an incantation being cast across the lake as the room fills with crackling energy. I need all three of you to make a dexterity saving throw, please, as a lightning bolt originates from Marig.
27.
Pets?
15.
It's not going to cut it, unfortunately.
18.
Hooray!
18 just makes it.
Just. Ruh-roh.
And that is going to be... Come on. I need more D6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's close. 5.
You guys.
Who still has the transmuter stone?
The
I
what?
don't think I do. The
Did,
lightning resistance or whatever.
Yeah, I don't
did
have
we
it.
give it back to Cam?
I know I don't have it. I don't know who had it last. I mean, if it was Cam's, I assume we gave it back to her in the end.
All right, so Wade, please take 32 points of lightning damage. Everyone else takes 16.
Oh, cool.
I'd really rather not, but okay.
I mean, you can take the 32 instead. That's fine.
I think I'll take 8 if that's all right with you.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm gonna get in her face in a second, so I need what I got.
This isn't looking good, guys.
It's not looking great.
All right, well, that's going to be her turn.
Yeah.
And then it's on to Cam.
Mm-hmm. 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 Cam is going to hold on to her necklace, and she just says a very quiet prayer to herself and is going to use Twilight Sanctuary. How many? 30-foot radius, so that should get Lyris there too.
For sure.
But she just kind of like pulls this sort of like black shimmery veil down over around everybody, and it just kind of emanates from her. That is her action, and then bonus action, spiritual weapon. I'm going to put it like right next to Lyris.
Okay.
Because I don't know what is going on yet.
Lyris is also like just, you can see he's like putting his bow down and like gesturing her closer.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will go closer. Go about there, and whenever a creature, including you, ends its turn on the spirit. Okay, so at the end of my turn, then I'm going to. She kind of gets bolstered by some temp HP, which will be 12 HP.
Nice.
End of turn.
Hey, Wade, you're up.
Oh boy, you know, I only got like 9 HP left, so might as well go out with a blaze, right? Can I see anything under the water?
The water is very murky, but what are you trying to accomplish?
I feel like what Lyris was saying is correct, and that whatever I initially saw in the water is possibly a Marig, and I didn't want to cast a fireball at something that's not going to take damage.
I will say, if you want to cast a fireball that gets the thing in the water, creatures that are completely submerged in water take half damage from fire damage, so saith the Dungeon Master's Guide.
So if I instead cast Storm Sphere and struck it with a lightning bolt,
I'd give
which
it
would still be rough. Go ahead.
I would
You'd give it disadvantage.
I'd give it disadvantage on that, or give you advantage if that's an attack roll.
Okay, I will use a 4th level spell slot to cast Storm Sphere, like above the middle of the lake.
All right, what's the radius?
Can't you
on
like
that?
put it right on the creature though? Would it work there? Because you get bludgeoning damage from the area effect too, right?
Yeah. I mean, I could. Could I put it in the general range of where he saw that? That's a 20-foot radius, by the way.
Yeah, pick a square to center it on and drop a little mark on it, and I'll playing Battleship over
You
here.
see that?
We literally are here. 20-foot radius
Easy,
is
baby.
huge.
Right around.
Is that how big
right
Storm
around
Sphere
here.
is?
Yeah, Storm Sphere is pretty big.
Holy shit.
Yeah, that
So-
will encompass whatever's down there.
Does
So
it blow
I will
away enough of
put
the
it-
water to see it?
Maybe.
I will put it like just like under the water so that it's not like affecting above the water. Okay, so that's
So you cast this in the water there, it just starts churning and roiling, and sparks of electricity like all throughout it.
it would be a strength saving throw for the bludgeoning damage, and the sphere's space would be difficult terrain.
Okay, well, that is gonna be. I don't think that. Oh, it's got a pretty good strength save. But I doubt that a 14 is gonna quite get it done.
Okay, so let's roll some d6s. Roll that one. That's a 1, and that's so 6 bludgeoning damage. And then I'm going to roll to attack it with my bonus action for the lightning bolt.
Okay. So this will be, you can't see it, but you have advantage on it because of the damage type, so it'll just be a straight roll.
12.
12, unfortunately, is not quite enough to get it done, but as there's this large discharge of electricity in the water, you can I'll say you have sort of concentrated your attention on this, and that is enough to provide some illumination even through the murky water to see the outline of a large creature briefly in this flash of lightning. I'll just go ahead and reveal it.
All right.
Yeah.
You heard about first, Marig. Well, what about second?
And then there's a saving throw involved. Yeah. Well, that's not. And then this image of this ancient archhag over here fades away as the 6 bludgeoning damage was enough to break its concentration.
Nice. Well done, Wade.
Womp womp.
Now take cover, please.
And take 11
will.
temp HP.
11 temp HP. Okay, I need that. I will hide behind the corner there.
Fantastic. And back up to the top of the round, Lyris.
Yeah, well, as that bonus action, I'm going to hand Cam one of these potions of Fomorian strength. So you can have that and drink it.
Just
So
load her on up with potions.
Yeah.
Let her loose on
Basically.
everybody.
That's the plan. Yeah. And as awesome as the Storm Sphere is, it's kind of... Oh, I moved it. I need it to be there. Preventing me from getting in close, but that's fine for now. I guess I'll just grab my bow again and use my bonus action to give it a potion. So I'm just going to fire 2 more arrows for now and see how that works out.
All right. I think that's going to be a disadvantage because of the storm sphere and the water, but you have a target.
Hey guys.
Well, it would have been a disadvantage for the murky water anyway.
15.
15 is going to miss.
Okay, then I did nothing.
Okay.
Fun, I'll fairy fire it. Hopefully, maybe.
And then
I am going, now that I know where it is, I'm going to move a little bit to take cover from where it is. And how many temp HP do I get, Vix?
Oh.
All of that.
That'll be 12. Wait, no. 8 plus 5 is not 12, it's 13.
Thank you.
Well,
that's end of turn for you.
Doesn't have a clear... Well, actually, I remember this. So that thing that you saw under the water reemerges again. Wait, if you were here to see it, it is a large eye stalk with 3 horizontally aligned eyes on it that make laser focus on Cam. And I'm going to need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please. As the eyes kind of start like flashing with a hypnotic pattern.
That is a 21.
That is going to resist. You feel very briefly a compulsion to approach this creature. But you're like, why would I do that? Seemingly frustrated by that, it is going to then just this large tentacle is going to up out of the water and try and attack you.
Let's go. I can breathe underwater now.
Oh, yeah, that's going to hit. 24.
Yep.
All right. One, two, let's see. 4. Take 14 points of bludgeoning damage. You are grappled.
Grappled. What is that to again?
Let's see. Your speed is 0, and you have disadvantage on attack rolls against any target other than the target that's grappling you. So not a whole lot.
You said 14?
Yes.
Alrighty.
But that is going to be its turn, and now it is your turn.
It doesn't move me anywhere. I'm just here, like stuck.
For now.
Okay. So ominous. So does that mean that there's something grappled around me that I could attack it?
Yes, there's a large green tentacle of sorts that has wrapped around one of your legs.
Drinking a potion, bonus action?
Yeah.
Alrighty. And how do I do that? Do I just... Can I temporarily change my strength score?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. That is plus 5. Let's do that. There we go. She is going to drink the potion that Lyris gave to her as a bonus action, and then come down on this thing with... Oh, I didn't mean to roll digitally, but that's fine. With her trident, that's an 18 to hit.
Yeah, 18 will hit.
Cool. And then that'll be 6, 12. Yeah. What kind of damage does a trident do? 12 piercing damage. Plus my cleric thingy, the D8. My divine strike. So 12 for piercing and then 6 radiant damage
Very
as she
nice.
channels some of her radiant energy into the coral as it like pierces into the tentacle wrapped around her.
Very nice. Anything else?
I
You can't move,
think I'll grant myself some more temp HP. We need that. And it kind of just it overrides it, right? I have to
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yes.
It doesn't add
4
to it.
plus 8, 12. Cool. Yeah, I have 12 again.
All right.
Wait, you
Wait,
just skipped Wade.
I did.
Wade doesn't need to go. It's fine. Storm Sphere's got it.
I accidentally clicked next turn twice, but I know that it's Wade's turn.
I'm gonna sneak around the corner here just so I can bonus action the lightning bolt again.
Heck yeah.
Roll to
Also,
hit.
when Marig ended its turn in the storm sphere, they should do another strength save against the bludgeoning damage.
Does a natural 1 make it?
I would be concerned if it did.
Okay, so 2d6 for that would be 9 bludgeoning damage. The lightning bolt will miss because I rolled an 11 for that.
Unfortunately.
So that's going well. That's going fantastic. I don't really want to do big spells right now, so I'm just gonna. Do I have enough range for? Would Mind Sliver? Would that work? It's 60 feet. I don't know if that's
Let's see.
debatable or not.
Let's measure. You are like 70 feet away from it by my measuring stick.
Can you move up 10 feet, then
Okay.
move back 10 feet?
Or 65. Yeah, if you moved up 5 feet, you could do it.
Okay, I will do that. Mind Sliver, which is an intelligence save of 16.
No.
Is that a no for?
It did not save.
Oh, nice. That is 6 damage and subtract a d4 from the next saving throw it makes before the end of my next turn.
Okay.
So if anybody has a saving throw spell, then, there you go. It subtracts d4 from the next one.
Hmm.
And that will be the end of my turn as I slink back behind the protection of this cavern wall.
Lyris, you are up.
Am I ever?
Are you
Sort of
hidden
put you in a
now?
bind, didn't I?
No, I'm not hidden at the moment. That mist is still all around us, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna assume I can't be hidden as long as that's there.
Sure.
But there are other ways to get what I need done. Yeah, I think he's gonna call to Cam to take cover where he is, and then run and take a leap over to this rock here, if I can.
Yeah, you can make that jump. It's big
Okay.
enough.
And once there, I'm going to cast Fairy Fire on Marig.
Oh, nice.
Ooh,
So
you
that
have
is a
that too?
dex save.
This is not.
Man, she cannot roll. Yeah, it. This. What does Lyris's fairy fire look like?
I think keeping with the sparkly scales version of what he does.
Disco fish.
Yeah, basically, I think what happens is he like lands and then he points his arms at her, and like all these shiny like pearlescent scales form, and they all just like burst out like a shotgun blast. And if she doesn't dodge them, they stick to her and like refract all the light. Yeah.
And there's
awesome.
there's lots of it floating in the water now too, revealing any obstacles under the water, and it's catching some of this light that's being emitted by the Omerite crystal.
Cool. Then with that done,
I don't have any disco fantasy music.
I think I don't think I have any bonus actions that are going to help me in this moment. So he's just going to draw his swords and be like, "Well, come on."
Are you trying to taunt Marig into attacking you?
I'm trying to draw her towards me.
Roll for something. How do you what do you feel is an appropriate role for Lyris to make for that?
Oh, that's a good question. I think that he's pretty persuasive. Like he's standing out there in her element, just at the edge of the sphere. Just come on, and he's just, he's persuading her forward after having hammered her with a bunch of sparkly scales.
I'm just like, wow.
That's 15.
15. Okay, I don't think she needs much convincing. So this triple-eyed stalk, which was basically all of Marig that you could actually see directly, it raises up a little bit more, and this large green head with this enormous mouth emerges out of the water, and this. Actually, let's see how far away you are. Moves forward just a little bit, staying in the storm sphere.
I mean, I know it's difficult terrain. Is that how little movement she actually has?
Oh no, she didn't need to move any further to get within 20 feet of you.
I see. Okay.
As a long tongue flies out of this huge mouth and wraps around you and attempts to pull you towards her. Can you make a strength saving throw for me, please?
There's no attack roll with that?
No. There's a saving throw.
Okay.
Call your shot. Cut off her tongue.
That's a 23.
Wow.
I'm rolling lucky on the saves right now. I
Nice.
don't know when that luck's gonna run out.
Yeah, as this sticky tongue wraps around you and tries to pull you into the storm sphere, you're able to just hunker down and stand your ground on this rock.
Yeah, he like goes into like a horse stance kind of thing, and as it's wrapped around him, he like sheds some scales to just loosen it up and flips it over his top. Yeah.
In which case, then she's gonna try and make the rest of her attack at you with got this. Actually, that is a point. As she moved a little bit, Cam, you got pulled about 5 feet that way.
Alrighty.
As she moved.
Okay.
And yeah, so then 2 more of these green tentacles that have Cam wrapped up come for Lyris. Let's see. That first one's gonna miss, but the second one is is it gonna be a 24 to hit?
Oh, so is it the end of, like, it's her turn now, or is this like a reaction thing that's happening?
It's her turn now.
Okay, Lyris, you should have 14 temp HP if you want.
I was
those.
not within 30 feet of you at the end of my turn.
Oh, fair enough. I thought. Okay.
I am now. I wasn't then.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. Trust me, I'm keeping on top of that. I want to know how much HP I have.
That's a better hit. Please take 20 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are now grappled as well.
Points.
Yes.
Okay.
As these two, following up with this tongue, these large tentacles, you're able to deflect one, but the second one is able to find some purchase.
Okay. She whipped pretty hard.
And
You
she's
can't
got
save.
Yeah, Constitution saving throw, please, to maintain concentration on Fairy Fire. AC 10.
That is going to do it
Nice.
with an 11. Just
Just
Right, yeah. Let's see, how much more? 30 feet. Yeah, I think 5, 10, 15. She's going to use the remainder of her movement to get closer to you, Lyris.
all right.
Strength saving throw for Storm Sphere.
Storm Spur.
That's cocked.
armor gird with the storm's fur.
Yeah, that's like a 23 this time.
Does she still take half?
Okay.
No, I don't think she does.
And now that she's up out of the water and Fairy Fire attacks on her are going to have advantage. That's going to be her turn. And then Cam.
Oh, all right, bonus action first of all. 5, 10, 15. Does my spiritual weapon also have to like move slowly?
Probably.
I mean, it's not a creature.
Yeah, that's true. It's a spell effect.
It's also
something.
15.
It can. I'm pretty sure it could have made it regardless. But
I'll say it's fine, especially because Wade
You can
cast
just float
most of
above
this
the water.
underwater. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And then I'm gonna make an attack with a spiritual weapon with advantage. Thank goodness for that, because the other one was a 2. 19.
That'll hit.
All right.
we put everything on the line here, man. I'm so invested in this fight.
I rolled a 1 on that die, but but then I rolled an 8 on my divine strike, so 9,
comes out in the wash.
14 radiant damage.
14 points of radiant damage. Very
Not
nice.
bad. Not bad.
And then I think I am going to also guiding bolt her.
Okay, nice.
And that's a crit. So
Nice.
Hells yeah.
I wish I upcast that, but we'll
What can
take
you
it.
do?
We'll take
It's
it.
still good damage.
I don't want to math, so I'm gonna just use D&D Beyond. Ooh, it rolled so poorly on D&D Beyond. That's 9. Wait, doubled though.
Doubled.
9 doubled.
Yeah.
Are we
18.
doing brutal critical in this? I forget. Or
we hadn't been, but what do y'all think? Do you want to do that? Understanding
Personally, I love it, but I know it's a risk to us also.
Yes.
I'm fine either way. Just
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's
Is that
Alright.
just double the roll? Or...
Yeah, let's do it then.
It maximizes one of them.
so 9
Okay.
plus 24. Yeah, 9 plus 24 is
33.
there you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
I cannot math on stream. It's just there's something about it.
Yeah. How do you feel about describing Cam's laser beam? Because this is a lot of damage.
Okay, that is a lot.
She so she brings her spiritual weapon in. She's trying to stand her ground with this, like being grappled by this thing's tentacle and like not getting pulled into it. And I think just in like almost a panic sort of, she just gathers some of that bolstered strength from the potion that Lyris gave her. And the way that her eyes and mouth normally like emit light when she's doing her like ASMR stuff, I think this time she's like holding on to the tentacle and it just like shoots out of her mouth at that moment in like this like angelic chorus.
That's badass.
But yes.
Nice. That's a big
Action.
ol' hit.
Bonus action. It took a couple turns to charge up and do all of these things, but we got there.
It takes at least 3 episodes to charge up the spirit bomb.
Yeah.
I just posted a DBZ GIF too. That's hilarious.
Hey!
That'll be a different turn, though.
All right. Wade.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do the do. Storm Sphere, bonus action. 21.
That'll hit.
Do I still have advantage because of Fairy Fire?
Yeah, you've got
Yes.
advantage for so many reasons.
It's also inside your
Okay.
storm sphere.
Well,
which gives you advantage.
that's still a hit. Okay, so
Extra hit.
4d6. Trying to figure out if I can, because this doesn't allow me the option to roll the damage for the storm sphere. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's good. 21 lightning damage.
Damn.
And then
Nearly max.
because I'm trying not to go through all of my. I'm just going to do a mind sliver again. Intelligence saving throw for 16.
Intelligence. Yeah, that's not going to cut it.
Okay, so that is 9 psychic damage, and then
Woo.
another d4 from the next saving throw before the end of my next turn.
Cool. Yeah. So you'll notice this lightning from the storm sphere comes up out of the water and just impacts the side of this creature's bulk. And it doesn't seem to be as physically hurt by this as you might have expecting it to be, but it seems to like be twitching and having some sort of spasms and is now moving a lot more slowly from having taken this lightning damage in addition to some other things that are not visible.
I'll take it. That'll be my turn.
Cool. Then we are back around. Well, actually, before we do that, at the top of the round, where's my stat block go? Can't find my
What are
stat
you
block.
doing? What are you doing?
There it is.
No.
No, please no.
Yeah, at the top of the round, it's going to use a layer action to. Now we can't find the map again. Too many things open. There it is. Yeah, at the top of the round, it is going to use its action to Misty Step over here, right behind Cam, who just shot it with a laser beam. Now it's Lyris' turn.
Okay, fair enough. It doesn't disrupt my turn at all. I'm jumping back over there. Yeah, I'm gonna jump over here and try to use the cover of the tree roots to. Oh no! Wait, no, sorry. No, I'm not gonna do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump over there and I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark on it. Now that I actually have a target.
We decided that's non-concentration for you, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I have a question about, like, it disappeared, like Misty Step, and then like reappeared, sort of thing.
Yes.
What happened to the things that were grappling us in that process?
It's weird. Like they sort of. That's a really good question.
I mean, her whole form would have to dematerialize.
Explain.
Yeah. So I think in the moment that it takes for this layer action to take effect, you do feel the tentacles that were grappling you temporarily disintegrate into a vapor, and also I'll give you we'll make another because it's just going to try and rematerialize with those around you. But
Sorry, was I grappled as well?
yes.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
So you should, yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
you
okay.
should.
We will say that because it teleported, that does end. That'll end the grapple for this purpose. Good question. Had to think through that one live on Top Down Tabletop.
I don't mean to put
Yeah.
you on the spot, but I was
No,
like,
no, it's
this
a
is
good-
a bullshit question you'd ask me. So-
It's a good question.
It's a fair question, absolutely.
I respect the hustle.
Cool.
I would have
you-
accepted
No,
it,
you-
like re-roll, and we'll see if it happens
Yeah.
again. But I wanted to ask.
Yeah, no, that's a.
No,
That's a
didn't
good,
Shanks? I remember Shanks made a 23
I-
strength save. For
Yeah, I passed the tongue
Grapple.
grappling me, but then it hit me with one of its tentacles, which I think is an
Oh,
automatic
it's like an
grapple if it
automatic-
hits.
yeah, those are an auto
Yeah,
grapple
okay.
on a hit, but they can't auto move you, which the tongue does. So
Right. But either way, if it dematerialized, then cool. Yeah, I'm leaping across, and as he does, he's reaching out with his magic to Hunter's Mark this thing, which also means I get to know, vulnerabilities, resistances, and immunities.
it has no immunities. It is resistant to fire and lightning damage, but lightning
Worse.
damage halves its speed and gives it disadvantage on saving throws until the end of its next turn.
All right. Well, then, yeah, he's gonna basically just call out like, "Don't use fire, but lightning may not do as much damage, but is definitely affecting her." And then, yeah, well, it's very fired, and I don't need to hide, and so moving around, I'm gonna attack with advantage.
Heck yeah,
That is a 22.
to hit.
Yeah,
Yes,
and she's been damaged,
yes.
and that's sneak attack
Uh-huh.
and Hunter's Mark.
It's like you're playing Yahtzee over here.
I am pretty much, yeah. 16 plus 6 is 22 piercing on that first one, and that's magical piercing in case you forgot.
Naturally.
Although I know she's not resistant now, so it doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to attack a second time with advantage. This time, no hunter's prey or sneak attack. And that's only a 17.
17 just hits. That's the number to beat.
Ooh. Then that is another 14 piercing
Oof.
damage. And then finally, my free offhand attack is a 22 to hit again. Low damage on this one. That's only going to be 10 piercing damage.
Gotcha. Okay.
But all in all, that was a good round.
That was a pretty good round for Lyris.
Yeah,
But
so
now
he just
it's-
like he leaps across, he casts his magic, and he's just and just cutting into her back and trying to get her attention back on him. Also ending his turn within 30 feet of Cam. How much temp HP do I get?
You get max, which is 14.
Nice. So, this huge creature looming over Cam, about to come down on top of her for a bite, being stabbed several times in the back, suddenly whips around and tries to on Lyris.
Yeah, bring it on.
All
I'm
right.
glad this isn't Baldur's Gate 3 and my spiritual weapon isn't taking any damage.
Right.
I know, right?
Plus. It's a natural 20.
And, yeah, there's nothing I can do about that.
Is that a silvery barbs?
You could try and silvery barbs it, yeah.
Okay, I will use a first level spell slot for that.
Woo,
Okay, so that
thank
rolled
you,
19 on the die, but it's not a crit anymore.
It's not a crit, and we just agreed to brutal criticals.
Yes, we did.
So you just gave me
Wrong.
maximized damage.
Yeah, that was going to be fun. So please take a non... Let's see. Yeah, you're medium or smaller. Okay.
I am medium or smaller.
Wow!
Somebody can just say smaller.
Please take 27 points of piercing damage.
Thank you, Cam.
Almost max.
For reducing that.
And this creature, for the second time today, Lyris, you have been swallowed.
Yeah.
It just tastes so good. He's a snack.
Yep. Just a little guy. Just a little snacky.
And then...
when you take damage with temp HP, is the concentration save based on the full amount of damage or the damage minus the temp?
I think it's based on the full amount of damage because Arcane Ward specifies that it's not, but temp HP doesn't specify that it's not.
Okay. So then that's going to be a DC of 13?
Yeah.
That is going to be... Oh my god, I just pulled it off again.
Woo! Okay, then it's going to make the rest of its multi-attack on Cam.
Alrighty.
That's 2 more tentacles coming for
You
you.
hear some muffled fish noises from inside of it.
The 17 is going to miss, but the 22 is going to hit.
Show whiz.
That's a low roll.
So
Well,
miss
it's not
having
low.
the shield spell.
11 points of bludgeoning damage, and you're grappled again.
Thank you to the temp HP. 11. How do you have that? That would be 6 halved? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, don't forget about the advantage from silvery barbs whenever you do something next.
Fair enough.
I don't think you'll be getting advantage being inside of it from the fairy fire. It's not helping you see it any better.
I mean, it doesn't specify you don't, but yeah.
It does specify that a swallowed creature is blinded and restrained, though.
I have blind sense.
Well, then you're just restrained. But that is going to be its turn in Cam.
Yeah.
Watch Lyris get numb.
Uh-huh. Hmm. I sure did see that, and that kind of messes with what I was going to do. Do not want to moonbeam Lyris.
It won't hit him
I have
Oh.
full cover.
inside the thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I will do the spiritual weapon first. Well, man, those advantages, I'm like, most of them are still pretty low, but it's still thankfully, I think it is a hit. 19, yeah.
That'll do it.
And a, what is that? D8? D8? 1d8. That'll be 13 plus my divine strike, 13, 20 radiant damage from my
Nice.
spiritual weapon.
This creature is looking rough.
Well, it's about to look even rougher. I need it to make a constitution. I think it's a
Oop.
constitution saving throw DC 16.
DC 16.
Is it still mind slivered?
Yeah, it should be.
Yes.
I didn't use it up.
Okay.
So Constitution minus a D4. Yeah, a 6 probably isn't going to cut it.
Nice. That'll be 12 radiant damage.
Moonbeam.
Yes.
Very nice. Yeah, as this column of light opens up here, burning off some of the fog within the area of effect of the beam.
Sorry, Lyris, if this is hurting you. She goes like that. She has no idea how it works.
You just hear, I'm fine, I'm okay.
Anything else from Cam?
I'm going to roll for temp HP because I need that. 11. Okay. That is better than 6. That was my last second level spell slot, guys. Let's go first level spell slots. We'll do this. That'll be end of turn.
Right, Wade, you are up. This creature has just rematerialized fully above the water now. There is barely any headroom for it in here. It's filling up this entire passageway almost.
Well, I'm disheartened that it has resistance to lightning, but I'm gonna go for it anyway because that's what I got. I still have advantage on that, right?
Yes.
So the first was 20, not a natural 20. So 46 lightning damage. I guess it's not about the damage because that's only 8, but I guess. But it has disadvantage on saving throws until next turn.
Dexterity saving throws, and its speed is halved.
Dexterity saving throws. Well, too bad I don't have that many dexterity saving throw spells other than Fireball.
Which it is also resistant to.
Yes, which is, it's like, oh, come on. Like, this creature was made to not, Anyway, I'll just do another mind sliver because it's a cantrip and I'm trying not to burn through my spell slot.
Intelligence save. Ooh, it finally makes one against Mind Sliver. Well, actually, wait a minute. Yeah, it makes it.
Okay. What does this say? Takes half damage, suffers no other additional effects. So it takes 5 psychic damage because of potent cantrip.
Such a good ability.
Yeah, that is a good ability.
Take that.
All right. Let's see. At the start of its turn. Lyris.
Yeah.
You are swallowed.
Okay. So I have disadvantage from being restrained, but I have advantage from silvery barbs. So I'll make a straight roll. Is Cam's within melee of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna.
Actually, yeah, I don't know if that. Because there was like a route between us.
Well, not that. Like, you're not flanking it. There is an ally within 5 feet of it though. So I think yeah, you can sneak attack it.
Yay! If I can hit it.
Yeah.
There's straight roll. That is a 20 to hit.
20's gonna do it.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. We need to believe in the heart of the cards here. Short sword, hunter's mark, sneak attack, hunter's prey.
Yahtzee.
Yahtzee. 14, that's 20 piercing damage.
Ooh,
first one.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just jabbing his sword into whatever organs he can feel inside this thing. I don't suppose it's spitting me out yet.
Not yet.
Okay, well then, follow-up attack with disadvantage. Oh, there was a nat 20 in there.
Oh,
Does a 14 does not hit.
alas.
Does 15 hit? No.
It does not, sadly.
Okay, then that's end of turn for me. Unless I can just disengage and leave.
Alas not. Okay. That is at the start of its turn.
Do I get
right.
temp HP from Cam being inside this thing?
Let me read this. Let's see. A swallowed creature has total cover from all effects outside the creature.
So probably not.
Probably not.
Okay. Then you know what? What I am going to do is I'm going to cast Healing Word on myself.
That you can do.
Yeah. It's something.
Which is good, because at the start of its turn, you start taking some acid damage.
Ooh, that's not
It
fun.
would be
and I-
swell if you had resistance to it.
Wait, get in here!
Wait, get in here!
It also needs to make a con saving throw.
Yes. So it's going to be 10 points of acid damage.
Okie dokie.
And this also, the creature needs to make a constitution saving throw as well, which it
Yeah.
passes.
I
And
also
it
pass
takes-
mine.
Then it takes 2 radiant damage because I rolled poorly.
It needs to make yet another constitution saving throw then, which it also passes. Okay. We have to roll to regurgitate. Since you did do some damage to it, it gets a save. It gets a saving throw.
I see.
But it's up now, and Cam, it had a plan before. It's going to try and do it again. It's going to try and bite ya.
Alrighty.
This will be 23 to hit.
That's one hit.
All right, you are bit. And you are also swallowed.
Hello.
Lyris, you have some company.
Lyris
that
is just
is
in there
the-
like, first time. Let me show you around.
That's gonna be. That was a big roll. It's gonna be 30 points of piercing damage for Cam on being swallowed.
So that's 15 because she has her potion.
Yes,
So
good potion.
11,
Yes.
and then 4 actual damage.
And then I think you hear a voice from around the corner, Wade. We can still talk. They're still alive if you want to deal.
Oh my god.
Give your soul to her.
Lyris is like raging in there, like, don't you fucking dare!
But it is then Cam's turn.
It is Cam's turn. How?
Oh, do you need to? Did you make a concentration check for Moonbeam?
Oh, I did not.
DC 15.
I rolled a 17 on the die.
Hey, Moonbeam stays
Yeah.
up.
Also, the DC should have been 10 because she only took 15 damage.
Oh right, yeah, because you have it, so it should have been 10. Good call.
How? Spiritual weapon, I can still use it, right?
Yeah,
It's kind of it's one of those weird ones. I gotta ask.
You can see
Yeah,
the creature, technically
can't-
speaking.
well- do you have blind sight? Technically, you can't.
Oh, that's true. She can't.
But I am gonna say you know where it is for the purposes of spiritual weapon.
Like, just hit here.
It actually doesn't say anything about seeing. You
Well,
can
then
move
never
the
mind.
weapon and repeat the attack against a creature within 5 feet of it.
It's a creature within 5 feet of it. Go for it.
It's still fairy fired.
Somehow.
Somehow.
It's a very, very
Doesn't really
useful
matter. I rolled the
stuff.
same thing
Lyris
on
is
both
very
die.
focused in here.
21.
That'll hit.
This isn't his first time being swallowed. He's
11.
fine. This is what all that waterfall training was for.
That is 19 radiant damage with her divine strike.
All right.
And Moonbeam is still up, and I think I can still attack in here with my weapon.
Yes, but you have disadvantage.
Cool. Okay. Does a 16 hit?
16 does not hit,
She's like
unfortunately.
prodding with her trident, but she's still also not really used to like this sort of weapon. So she pulls back, and it doesn't quite work out for her.
Yeah, not quite having the freedom of movement you need to get the leverage to actually damage anything.
Lyris is in there just like, pick a direction you can extend your arms in.
She's already forming a sacred flame in her hand. She's like, I think I'm gonna try something else.
Right. But then it's up to Wade. Marig has made you an offer and is staring you down.
How about I offer a 4th level chromatic orb?
That's a good offer.
Let's do it.
Fairy fired, so first roll, I'm gonna do cold damage because, you know.
Huh?
Good choice.
First roll is 19.
19
Roll
will
again
hit.
to see if it's. We'll take the 19. Roll for damages.
4th level, you said?
Yes, that will be 26.
No, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No.
That's,
26 damage?
That's 26.
Well,
26 cold damage.
with 22 hit points left, how would you
Do it,
like to bring
Wade.
down this entity?
I will peek around the corner and say, I have a cold counter offer as I just, throw like this slowly growing orb towards this creature, and it's like just freezes the front of its face.
Yeah, and the two of you inside of this creature can feel a sudden thud as the creature stops moving. You are still inside of it, however.
As soon as like the like, I don't know, whatever side of it starts to like freeze over, Lyris is just like and just starts cutting his way through it.
Immediately drops the moonbeam that they will definitely probably be in some way.
I don't know if you need me to
Are you
make any
guys
sort of check.
okay in there?
I don't think so, because even though you're still when it got back around to its turn, even though it's dead, you would still take acid damage, but you're going first, so you can get out. And Cam's got enough hit points where even if it rolls maximum acid damage, it doesn't matter.
Fair enough.
So yeah, the two of you you kind of have to the interior of this creature, all the sinew and the muscle fibers, very difficult to cut through. You're finding the easiest way is to try and climb back out the way you came in.
Yeah, I'm not about the easiest way. I'm gonna continue cutting my way in.
Fair enough. Yeah, then you are able to use your turn to hack through it and pop out like Jim Carrey and that rhinoceros.
I'd rather slide out of him like Sokka when he climbed into Appa's mouth.
Okay, I'll allow it.
He just like slides out in starfish formation.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Good job, everybody. That was hard. And we're almost exactly at 7:30, which is a perfect time to take a break.
We did it.
You did it.
great encounter, David. That was fun as hell.
I'm glad you enjoyed. How many hit points did Lyris have left?
Actually, still at 36. I was
Oh,
I was
wow.
okay. Yeah,
Shout outs to the temporary hit points.
yeah, for
That's
sure.
4 times
that
as
that
many
helped, and
hit
it saved me
points
from
as-
having to use my own concentration on arc skin. What was that, Val?
Oh, that's like 4 times as many hit points as I had left.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, well, we're going to go take a little break, and we'll be back here in a few minutes. Sit tight, and yeah.
Get your lips. Bye.
Thanks for sticking around while we took a little break there. Just finished up a fight, and notice... Wait, Pip's not here. Anyway.
The fight didn't draw her out of hiding.
You better be working on her sewing post, is all I'm saying.
You find yourselves down here in this now still layer, the fog that had been filling the room slowly dissipating now. There's a corpse of a large creature that you just cut your way out of. Crystals in the water, some kind of eggs sitting around, and a sub-cavern full of pottery.
All right. Well, I think Lyris will take some time to investigate first the body of this creature to see if it has anything valuable on it, and then that stash to the south.
Make...
Is
Go ahead, Val.
Go ahead. No, you first.
All right. Give me your choice of nature or investigation.
For the body?
Yes.
Okay. Well.
Or yeah, survival's fine too. I'll allow survival.
Okay. Well, that's a nat 20. So.
Okay, cool. Well, that's kind of what you needed to find the coolest thing.
Go on.
So, as you are cutting your way out of here, this creature has, this internal bone structure, and as you're sort of hacking through it, you run into some of that, and you have to, and you try to get through this bone, and it's giving you resistance, so just turn and fight somewhere else where there isn't that. But now that you're out, standing upright, not covered in acid, this one particular section of one of this creature's ribs looks like it was stitched together from a couple different pieces. It looks like there is a fragment of a like a opalescent bone shard in the middle of one of this thing's ribs, where it looks like the rest of its ribs are growing out from around it, and you notice that it seems to be shimmering a little bit depending on how close Cam is to the creature. It seems to be resonating, this little tiny fragment of one of this thing's ribs.
That's strange. Is that just my fairy fire? And he dismisses it, and when it's still there, he's like, what the hell is that? And it's like embedded in the ribs? Is that
it's like you can
the ribs
see
grew
like
out of it?
It looks like the rib grew out of this.
Yeah, I'm gonna pry that whole fucking rib out, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult. You can get the whole rib. It's quite big. It's probably about like this. If you just want part of it, you can break it. You can tell it wouldn't be too hard now that it's free to apply enough pressure to snap the ends off and just have the middle bit. But if you want the whole thing, you can certainly get it.
No, I'll do that. It was kind of like I don't know. I want to get a closer look at this, slice the whole thing out, and see. But yeah, no. If it feels like this is just the valuable bit, I'll break the bones off. And can either of you identify this?
While you're doing that, the Cam goes over and like checks on Wade first, and she lays her hands on him, and I'm gonna give you 11 HP back just as a little buff in case.
you.
What
That-
what is that?
I don't
Is it
know.
magic?
It looked like one of its ribs grew out of it. It seems to be reacting to Cam, and he like holds it towards her.
just like looking at it.
Like if it touches Cam at any point, like Cam, if you picked it up or if you like touched it to her, it's functionally starts emitting dim light in a 10-foot radius. It's glowing that much when it's like in immediate contact with Cam.
She looks at Wade. She's gonna like hold it to him.
I guess I can take some time to ritually identify its properties.
We have a lot to do around here now. There's, as I said, there's a stash over there. We're going to want to figure out if these eggs are more of that creature, and if so, dispose of them, I imagine. I'm
Well,
also
I
curious
know-
about that crystal and the statue.
As someone who likes eating basement eggs,
He'll give them to Anas. It's your problem now.
All right, so you're ritually casting Identify on this.
indeed.
The Identify spell correctly, so it's a little bit weird because that's for like identifying the properties of magic items, and this isn't necessarily an enchanted magic item. This is a thing that is inherently magical, but I think with the
Magic.
information you can get back from the Identify spell and some of the context, yeah, this is a shard of celestial bone.
Is this a shard of a celestial creature?
The thing was celestial.
I don't No,
think
if
that thing was
we
celestial.
thought was celestial. Maybe it had ingested a celestial, and I don't know. Is it?
Maybe it was something that it bargained for. It did seem to be making
set-
deals much like a hag.
Is there some sort of religious? I feel like it's sacrilegious to use this for something. I wonder if there's some way to find its owner or give it proper burial. I don't know. Is that a thing, Cam? Do you know?
Would Cam know if that's a thing?
Do you think Cam would know if that's a thing?
I don't think Cam is the study type, considering how much she tries to boast about just being able to do magic. I honestly, I might have missed the day that they were teaching us about that at the Hall of Works. We could definitely take it to, we could take it there maybe and see.
Say, Cam, could you make an insight check?
Maybe 13.
13.
Yeah.
On a 13, there is. Have you held this chunk of bone at all?
Yeah, I took it from Lyris and was like
Okay.
kind of.
It felt like you were getting a little bit of kind of a vaguely deja vu like feeling from something while you were holding it. Like this there's something going on here that feels familiar, but you can't quite place it.
Let me think on that. I think also maybe if I reach out to maybe my father, he might know something about this.
Yeah, any outside help we can get on that would be welcomed. David, you said I rolled high enough to find the coolest thing. Does that mean there are other things I might have found?
Within the creature, there's nothing necessarily special. It's got, there's a lot of acid that you could harvest from its stomach. The eye stalk might be worth something, but that's the thing that really drew your attention.
Fair enough. Well, I will take the eye stalk then, and considering we have a couple of empty potion bottles, I'll take a couple of vials of the acid as well. Okay, and then if I'm satisfied that I found what I can find, I will go down to that little treasure hoard and see what we have.
Yeah. Yeah, you're able to, if you don't mind getting in the water, you're able to get there no problem. Still slippery.
Yeah, I don't mind. Now that the creature is dead, I don't mind getting in the water.
Yeah, and you also notice now the murk in the water seems to be settling a little bit.
I wonder if the journey back is going to be very different now, if this creature was causing a lot of the travel to be.
Well, I do believe her effects on the swamp should be dissipating by now.
I do wonder about that town as well. People will be leaving or staying still.
I suspect they'll
Probably
be
leaving.
confused, but possibly start leaving once they realize that they are free.
Won't their king person tell them that their purpose here is complete?
I think she was referring to the village of trapped people.
The one that my mother might be at.
Oh, yes. Yes.
The Fae may leave their village as well eventually, though I suspect they might take their time. Hell, they might just decide to settle in and make the swamp their own. Who's to say?
So you were heading down towards the pile of grinding?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know if you need me to move things on the map.
No.
Cam will follow too, since we can.
Okay, yeah. Are you looking to just rifle through this quickly or take your time?
I think that the intelligence-based character is probably going to have to take some time to do some more stuff still. So I think I'll take time and really look through and see what we have and try to figure out how we're carrying it. We don't have a bag of holding or anything, do we?
Nope. That's why I have a big shell on my back.
Forgot about that.
I did too. I remembered it yesterday, but I had forgotten today completely. Yeah, you're just down here like freaking Bowser.
So yeah, never mind the little alcove full of pottery and sculpture. Just in this area, you spend some time while Wade's off doing brain stuff. It's kind of picking some of these pieces of jewelry and other precious metals, gemstone made art objects out of the mud here. All together, you find art objects worth 3,750 gold if you were to
Holy
try and sell it.
Shit.
And
Shit.
a curious wooden
Sorry,
box.
what was that number again? This art object's worth
3,750 gold.
Okay, cool. And a box.
Box is curious. About what? Who knows? It's probably a mimic. It's curious about who to eat first.
Wes, I mean,
Were those crystals? Or are they still like greenish?
They are.
Fancy. Probably requires some sort of strength check or something to pry them free. Get another chunk or so.
okay, I'm still feeling pretty strong.
Yep. Her muscles are.
Does
just,
anybody-
Like, opening.
Anybody want more crystals for the road?
Is it safe to harvest them, or will we cause some sort of reaction?
Can I inspect them to see if... Because, I mean, this is different than the colors we're used to seeing associated with them. Can I investigate or arcana knowledge?
Yes, absolutely. I would say Arcana for this one.
Landed, that's a 21.
Nice. On a 21, these... You can tell that these crystals, after spending a little bit of time with them, looking them over, are actively in the process of channeling some form of magic.
These crystals are doing something right now. They're you know, something, they're channeling some sort of magic. Actually, you know, I suppose I could ritually investigate that, right?
Yeah, identify?
Yeah, identify.
Absolutely.
Ritually.
So anything in the 10 minutes that this Wade's going to be ritualizing this?
I'll take a look at this box.
All right. Yeah, and it opens very easily. It's, you know, all of the dirt and mud just kind of falls off of it. Despite the fact that it doesn't really seem to have too much of a finish on it, it resists any dirt and moisture or anything on it. And simply undoing the little latch opens it up, and there is a set of paints inside of it. 4 little pots of different colored paint with a bunch of strange looking multicolored brushes.
Do I get the impression that there's something magical about this?
I'd say.
Okay. Well, I'm really curious, but I'm going to just tuck it away for now and get Wade to identify it later.
Speaking of identification,
Gonna
Wade.
Pam like one of your little French girls, one of your little fish girls.
One of your little fish girls.
That's the plan.
Just a little bit. Yeah, Wade, you finish up this identify, and you understand that this crystal, the way that it has been used, it is exerting a lot of influence over the physical environment in an area around it.
I think this is how the not Marig was changing the environment.
Should we dispel it then?
Yes.
And I'll also say you would know with an identify that it could be dispelled. It's very advanced very old magic that is holding this enchantment on it. It also could be attuned to.
Oh.
How would that work? Like if I moved away from it?
Basically, so the way this works is if you are
I suppose-
within what's the radius here? I closed it. Hold on. If you are a number of miles, it doesn't say. So we'll say if you're within 6 miles of this, the attunement can be maintained. You need to make physical contact with it for the attunement process. If you move further away than that, the attunement will end. But because you cast Identify, you would know that a creature attuned to this object can, over the course of 10 minutes, alter a 100 square foot area of the environment around within the radius around this crystal to be essentially whatever you would like it to be.
It takes 10 minutes to do a 100-foot square.
Yeah.
Well, not that I really want to spend more time down here. I assume Wade shares this information.
Yeah.
Feel free to not if you don't want to. But assuming we know this, then yeah, I think they would be like, well, I don't really want to spend more time down here, but if you were to attune to it, you could potentially make a safe path all the way through. Of course, we would have to destroy it afterwards, I assume.
Just to clarify, it's 100 square feet, not 100-foot square. So if you want to do 5 feet by however long, you could do that.
Right. It's still going to take quite a while. It's a fairly big swamp, right?
It's a fairly big swamp.
Yeah, we can do that.
Vix, you're muted.
I could set up my dome if we really want to just spend more time down here.
Well, again, want is not the issue. But
Well, we've cleared this place out, though. That's better than finding a new spot.
yes, that's true. And we have some work to do. There's still the eggs to deal with. Really would like to look at that statue more closely. And then we've got about 400 pots to look into.
Rupees.
Everyone's trying to sleep, and in the distance in the cave, you just hear Leah's, ha, ha.
Yes, but you can start attuning to this.
You're comfortable doing that?
That's sure, and see why not.
I think, though, once we're done making this place a little bit safer and a little bit freer, I think we should destroy it to make sure someone doesn't abuse it again.
Well, what if we told the frog people who were protecting this place about it? Maybe they would have use for it.
As much as I enjoy the Fae for what they are, and as much as I am looking forward to our reward for doing his dirty work here, I wouldn't trust the Fae to put the best interest of the people of this land at heart.
I mean, they did come here to kind of protect it, didn't they?
But what are their reasons for that? And, I mean, the person who offered us the job of doing this in exchange for power has more than enough power to do it himself.
So, wait, we're gonna you use the crystal to make a safe path, but then come back and destroy it?
Well, he can make the safe path while we're here.
And then destroy it, and it'll keep doing that.
Yeah, once we... I don't know if there's other things that we might need to do with it. I don't know if there's effects that need to be intentionally undone, much like potentially that village where Cam's mother's expected to be. You might have to try to extend your influence and see what might have to be done. But if we can make a safe passage from the mountains to, I believe the city is Yanur beyond the swamp, then we could open up trade again. We could change Crystal Harbor for the better.
Well, I was just saying, the path stays there even without the crystal being here.
Well, I would think that it would permanently affect the land until someone uses the crystal to undo it.
Well, I don't really know how this sort of thing works. This isn't... I've
That's
never
fair.
come across this kind of magic before.
It's very possible that once you destroy the crystal, the land will return to however it was before the crystal was put here, but I don't know. All I know is that it's a dangerous object in the wrong hands, and
So
the right hands aren't looking for it.
best case scenario, we have a path back. Worst case, it returns to its natural state.
That's my theory, though. I don't know, land dweller magic is strange sometimes.
When I was ritually identifying this, did I get the impression that, like, when you change that in the environment, it's a permanent change, or is the crystal like permanently maintaining that change?
So it would depend on the nature of the change. If it was a change that the environment was physically capable of supporting on its own, it would stay. But I will remind you that when you came down here the first time, there was a check made, and somebody, I don't remember who it was, determined that a cave made of mud of this size should not hold itself up. Like, the ground should not be strong enough to hold this opening within it.
So if we destroy it, we might be collapsing the whole cave in on us.
Well, I mean, we could...
Anyone got a bomb?
Would that tower protect us while we're in there? I guess, but then we would be stuck. I don't know. Yeah. And we made like a hole through. I don't know. We can think about it. It's confusing.
Actually, that's a good point. If you can make an opening above this crystal, then Cam can look down and dispel it.
It might be hard to dispel it just based off of how advanced and ancient this magic is.
I know. And maybe I'm being overly cautious. But look at what this creature did with it. It concerns me to leave it here.
Are we assuming that this crystal was used to make all of the, like, inhabitable, like, just hard to get to this area? That's what I assume.
That is also what I assume. I don't think David's going to tell us.
It seems like a reasonable assumption, given the information you have available.
Yeah. Like, she was using it to control this place.
Would it make sense for the swamp to be able to, like, maintain that level of growth and branches and stuff and vines?
I'd say Lyris, this is not like any swamp you've ever been in.
The swamp
There-
seems unnatural. It doesn't make sense the way it's growing.
Could we assume that if we just dispelled it, that all this would also go away? And that we wouldn't have to, like...
Maybe, but like I said, if we take a little bit of time to just make sure that there is a safe path through, in case some of these effects are semi-permanent, then, you know, it at the very least we can have a proper trade route again.
That's fair.
It,
Appreciate
how much time is it going to
it.
take you? An hour? Like, it's worth taking that time, even if it goes away. With Cam's help, we can rest here for the time being while we do everything else we need to do. By the way, there's so much fancy art stuff over here. I think we've got a few thousand gold coming our way. We're going to have to figure out a way to carry it all, which is probably going to take me an hour. Let alone digging into all those pots, figuring out that statue, and possibly destroying these eggs.
Well, we could
Um,
put some of the stuff, maybe some of the higher end stuff, inside the shell, and then we can just drag it along.
That's actually such a solid point. Yeah, but I'm sure that shell could fit a lot of it.
Yeah.
not to be a bit of a downer. This will take 2 hours actually, because I'm gonna have to unattune to one of my magic items and then attune to this.
I don't think unattuning takes that time. I think you can just break
You can
attunement.
immediately end attunement unless
Oh.
it says otherwise. Like if you're wearing a curse.
Okay, here, hold on to this.
What is it?
It's the ion stone.
Okay. Yeah, I'll hold on to that for you. Keep it safe.
It's can't forget that Wade has like a P orbiting around his head at all times.
A P?
Yeah, like a little pea-sized gemstone, just like. That's what they do.
Yeah, well, I also have one of those. So.
Yeah. So you've got one too.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
right.
So what are we tackling first? You're going to do some attunement and some terraforming.
All right. Well, while he's attuning, Cam, do you have light? The light cantrip?
Oh, yeah.
Can you give me a really bright light? And he like holds up an egg. I just want to try to see into this.
Yeah, she
Or-
will.
or- I have a torch.
I mean, you're busy. Attune.
So you're trying to
Echo.
see if the eggs are alive.
Put her
Yeah,
hand
and
out the
what's
back
in
of
them.
it. And the thing.
You know.
Yeah, I'll say nature or investigation.
Well, neither of them are great. No way I can persuade you
I'll
that
give you guidance.
perception. Okay,
Yeah, perception's fine.
perception's fine.
You got this.
They'll get you different stuff, but
Yeah, because I'm trying to see into it. Like, what do I see? And then if I need to make other checks, I'll make them. But with guidance, that's gonna be. I can never see this. There we go. Sorry. 17 plus 4, so 21.
even with the help of the light, it is difficult to make out any details through the thick shell. But you can see, yeah, because it's pretty dark in here except for this light, so that is helping the contrast. And yeah, I'll say with that, you can see a little bit of a shape moving in there that kind of has the same general arrangement of limbs as the creature you just fought.
Okay, that's fair. Well, it does seem to be more or less the same as that creature. So it's not like it found other eggs or something. It's probably in our best interest to destroy them.
Um. Okay.
Does that feel wrong?
It does. It feels really weird. It like against my nature almost, but I also don't want more of them to be here if they're exactly the same as it.
Yeah. Well, that was my first thought. Is what if we just relocate them? But then we're just dooming some other group of people to deal with these things.
Yeah, and we don't really. They seem to be here in the water for a reason as well, so taking them somewhere else might just kill them anyway.
That's true. All right. Well,
She'll help, though. She'll dispose of them.
you don't have to if it makes you uncomfortable.
It's not going to be any different than just having you do it. It's just someone else's hands and I'm watching. Yeah, takes out her hammer.
I guess it's no different. Smash!
In for penny, in for a pound. Oh well.
All right. Well, Lyris is gonna stab two of them and make sure that they're dead.
Yeah, easy enough to do. So you notice poking around here, it looks like there are maybe some remnants of some empty eggshells as well.
Did we peek in the water?
Yeah.
They're gonna. Well, Wade's busy. They'll also search the water just to be safe.
All right, make a perception check with advantage. You're both working on this.
Well, that's probably gonna be that was it. So that's gonna be 27.
You feel confident that you have done a thorough search of the water as much as you can here, and there is no sign of any other creature like this. There's some small fish, insects, things swimming around, but no little ones of these.
They're not here, so honestly, I suspect she ate them.
Maybe they grow really fast and they keep replacing each other. Wouldn't that make a cool story?
I suppose. It could.
While she's doing this, she's also, when she sees that there's fish in here, she's going to hold out her trident and she's pointing it at some of the fish. She's like, I really want to try this out. And she's like, she's going to use the charge of what's it called?
The trident of fish command.
Yeah.
Dominate fish.
Yeah, and she's just like she's making them like just go wherever she wants while they're talking.
You've got a handful of minnows that you're kind of puppeting around.
Actually, that might be helpful. Bring them all here. I'm going to use my last first level spell slot and cast Speak with Animals.
Hey.
Okay, she brings them in front of Lyris.
I am a fish.
You're a minnow.
You are many
tiny
fish. Stretch your lips out. Let's go. Hi guys. How are you? I'm sorry for you having to be under control of someone and everything. We don't mean you any harm. I just need to know, the creatures that came out of some of these eggs, are they all dead or did they go somewhere?
Let's see. Are you giving them any commands, Cam?
At the moment, it's just kind of like stay here.
Yeah. So a creature under the effect of dominate monster does nothing other than defend itself unless ordered to do so.
Can you make them answer me, Kim? They're not answering me.
Answer him.
That's right.
Just menacing these fish with a trident.
It just riles them all up when they're trying. Now answer him.
It comes out really harsh, and she's like, "Oh, I mean, sorry. I'm new at this. Could you please tell him what you know about?" Actually, does Lyris like communicate to her what he wants to know?
I guess he only said it in fish.
Yeah. She's like, just tell him
I'm
what
asking-
he wants to know.
Sorry, what was the wording of your question again? This was so ridiculous, I forgot.
Yeah, no, totally fair. The creatures that were in these eggs,
Yes.
are they still alive? Did they go somewhere? Or are they dead?
Then not here. Big one eats everything.
Sorry, I missed what was after not here. My headset cut out.
Big one eats everything. We're too small to be interesting.
That's what I figured. Okay, well, thank you. The big one's dead now, so you're safe.
Which big
He
one in the
says
water?
this-
Sorry, which big one in the water?
Push.
Oh,
It was a question.
oh, yeah, absolutely. Cam, let's put the body in the water. The fish are hungry.
Oh, she stops like harming them in that way.
They kind of disperse a little bit, but generally wait around the bank. There's a school of minnows forming there now.
Right, Cam will help.
Bodies
push
at the
through.
floor.
More of a pond. Let the body sit in the pond. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna go over and just shove the body into the. Yeah.
Yeah, and some of these minnows come up and start.
They're gonna eat well for a while.
Was I really rude to them?
No, it was fine. You just, just so you know, when you do use that, you're kind of like taking their will away. So just, be
Oh,
conscious of what you do with that.
oh yeah. I didn't realize that that's how that would work.
You didn't harm them, so don't feel bad about it. Just
Okay. She's gonna put her trident back on her back, and I think while Wade's doing his stuff, she's going to she wants to put the dome up just in case they decide that they want to rest there, and two, she's going to start filling up this shell with some of this loot, but I don't know how brittle or thick the shell is, so
It's pretty strong.
okay.
Yeah, that shell's not brittle at all. I can tell you.
You were
that.
you were trying to hit it with a trident several times. It is fairly resilient.
Cool. Okay.
The reason we're bringing it with us is because people will use it for defensive purposes.
All right. Then she will do that, and then she'll ask for Lyris's help to sort of like fashion a way to kind of tie it so that they can kind of drag it behind them.
Yeah.
It's like I went to the eternal swamp, and all I got was this flail snail shell stuffed full of gold.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do that, and then I guess the next step would be to search through all that pottery in that other chamber.
Is there anything in particular you're looking for when you're going through the pottery?
Literally just anything of value. If any of the pottery themselves seem like particularly valuable, like that people would want them, and then just searching inside each of them to make sure there's no hidden treasure.
I guess that's so yeah, you take the lids off of a number of these that have lids. A lot of them don't have lids. But you look into them and they all appear to be empty, maybe a little bit of dust. But they seem to be kept in pretty good shape. Some of the pieces here would probably be valuable to someone who wants to buy pottery, not necessarily hugely. Although, I don't know how much of an art expert Lyris is. I'm guessing probably not super.
No, he's not really an art connoisseur.
Yeah.
He's probably kind of deferring to Cam's opinion on them, whether she thinks they'd be valuable.
Yeah. Some of them do appear to be quite old. So, if there's someone who's interested in antiques, some of them actually make a I'm gonna say perception will probably work for this.
Okay, I'll take it. 17.
17. Yeah, you're not really sure what the implication of this is necessarily, but there are a few pieces in here kind of further towards the back in like the most secured out of direct line of sight area of this alcove that appear to be made of a different type of material. Like this, and just handling this, you can tell based on the size, the density, that this isn't made out of clay. It appears to be some sort of clay-like substance, but it's not mundane clay that you'd be familiar with, and also appear to be of a artistic style that diverges from most of the rest of them. Even though you can tell that a lot of these were made by different artists, you can tell that they were generally kind of from the same culture, but there's a little pocket that has like a different aesthetic value, made by people with a different aesthetic value.
Well, that's interesting. The fact that they seem unique, and do they seem possibly older? Like,
I think that would be difficult for Lyris to determine.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Well, why not? I'm gonna. How big are these pieces that are?
They range in size. There's a few from some like smaller sculptures and figurines that are just a couple inches tall to you, like one large urn that probably comes up to about your waist.
Yeah, I can't really do anything with that one. But the ones that are more reasonably sized, I will throw in my pack with like I'm gonna use my rope to kind of just coil it around them to keep them protected from each other and whatnot as I carry them around.
We'll say, yeah, let's say you get 6.
Okay. Yeah.
And what do I want you to write those down as, so I remember when you ask me in 6 months? What are the mysterious pots?
6 uniquely styled, not clay pots.
Yeah. Also, how much, like, I'm assuming that we didn't get the entire like hoard of stuff that was there, or did we? Like, how much should I write down in terms of what we can sell off, sort of thing?
I'd say you could spend as much time as you want digging to see if there's more, because a lot of the stuff is somewhat buried in the soil. So it'd be difficult to definitively say that you got it all, but that number I gave you is what you were able to confidently get.
Yeah. All right. Well, the only thing left on my radar is that statue that I'd like to take a closer look at.
All right.
Since Cam already looked at it and was like, I don't know, she'll spend that time then setting up the dome for them.
Yeah. I don't expect to like make a religion check to figure out what god it is. It's not my strength, but I'm just going to kind of look it over for any important details, anything that might be missed by a casual observer.
Just make if you have proficiency in religion, you can make one. Otherwise, just roll a straight up intelligence test.
Yeah, that's going to be intelligence. That's a natural 1, so 3.
I mean, there's a lot of details here. It's like difficult to figure out what might be significant. There's nothing immediately that looks like a holy symbol to your eye. It's like tall lady. I don't know. It's difficult. It's difficult to tell what species this individual is. Like, there's no pointed ears, so it's probably not an elf or a fae. But
Okay, fair enough. Then does it? I don't know. I'm not particularly magical, but like I don't know. Does anything about it exude an aura of like magical presence, or is it just a statue?
how close are you getting?
I'm willing to touch it. Like I'm literally gonna look it over and
Okay. Yeah, so it's difficult. So you feel like a magical aura in this space, but I'd say it's difficult to determine whether that's coming from the statue or the crystals or both on a 3. But there is a magical aura around.
Fair enough. I don't know. I can't make heads or tails of this thing, but it's just strange with it being here in like this creature made this mud cave. It's not even natural, and it put the statue here. Why? Unless it's maybe one of the sculptures that one of its trapped people made for it. Does this look like something your mother would make?
I would say probably not.
She does. She's not much of. She's more of a potter than like a sculptor, right? Or does
she does
sculpt
sculpting, but it's more like abstract sort of things. They would be vaguely human shaped, and this is like definitely more
this
detailed.
Is intricately detailed, and whoever made this put a lot of effort into catching details.
She takes out the statue that had she takes out the sculpture that she found down here that looked like her mom's but had the GS mark on it, and she's like, it kind of looks more like this and definitely not that big. But I mean, maybe they created parts of this place and not all of this place that way.
Perhaps. Just something about it being in front of the crystals gives me an eerie feeling.
It's not great.
All right, well, Wade, good luck with what you're doing. Let me know if you need my assistance in any way. I'm going to sleep off some of this acid damage.
Right. And what exactly is Wade up to?
Other than attuning?
So let's say that once you're attuned, what is your intent?
I mean, I'd also like to maybe straight intelligence check the statue up and down.
Yeah, go for it.
That's 11. I don't know. It looks like a statue, guys. I can make a head up there. There's no tails though.
You
Is it
do
11?
have inspiration.
Wade just comes in like, let me tell you, it's a statue.
Are you using the inspiration or not?
You might as well. That's a 1 on the die.
I think an 11's the highest so far. That's the highest one on the statue, right?
Yep.
I will say that does get you a little bit of something. There are some stylistic elements that remind you of some of the carvings you saw in the wall in that building at the bottom of Cat's Eye Lake where the Lightning Archive was located. You don't know what deity it is or represents, but it kind of brings that back.
Do any of these carvings look familiar to you? That, in the lake?
Honestly, I don't know. It's so far outside of my wheelhouse.
Me too.
Sometimes we just have to accept that there are going to be things outside our understanding, I suppose.
For now.
For now. How's attuning to that crystal feeling? You don't feel suddenly the urge to spy on everyone with Fey Mist and capture souls?
That's up to Wade if he feels like that, but the crystal is not making him feel that way.
I'm good. Do we want to like head up, or do you want me to open up an area so she can blast it with a dispel from?
I mean, we'll get there. First, can you? I don't know. Can you see it? Can you feel it? Do you?
Yeah. Do I need to have a visual, or is it like?
It's more of you can think of generally what you would like to happen. So if you're like, I would like there to be a path from here to the human village at the edge of the swamp, if you like will that into it over time, that will develop as you continue willing for that to exist.
I just think about it.
I should also point out that I kind of need a rest before I can do any dispelling.
Yes.
All right. Well, think about that path. Make it also connect to that other village where people seem to be trapped. And that way, they have a safe passage out.
So this is like the radius, the 6 mile radius, mm-hmm. Right? Thinking back to the other villages, those are within 6 miles, or
you walked more than 6 miles, but it was very difficult to determine a bearing while you were walking. So who knows how much of that time was in a straight line versus around obstacles and through the thickets.
I will do my best to create a path, but I don't know if the radius of this crystal covers... Well, I guess if this crystal only covers a certain radius, then the briar and whatnot would probably be centered around that radius anyway. But potentially.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I will think about it, and I will manifest.
We're vibing with the crystal, manifesting what we want.
Like Wade looking at his reflection in this crystal and doing his mantras.
All right. Well, while you manifest that, as I said, I'm going to try to get some rest so that I can, be back at full strength and kind of keep watch on things while you get your rest.
Are we going for a long rest or a short rest?
I would like to take a long rest, and Cam needs to take one also. So
yeah, I kind of have to if we want to do the dispelling.
Yeah. Just want to make sure that you were intending to do that down here versus somewhere else.
Yep. Sleeping in a cave.
Nice. Yeah. Thanks to the dome, it is pretty comfortable in here, unlike a lot of... I guess the dome usually warms it up rather than cools it down, but the temperature in here is starting to drop a little bit, but it is still quite warm and humid. But over the couple hours that you've been in here, you're sweating less. Still warm. But yeah, are you intending to reach out to Cathmore tonight?
I think. Do I have to? Does it matter when I'm doing the prayer to like swap out spells? Does it have to be before or like at the end of a long rest? I don't really remember.
I think technically it's at the end, but I don't care.
Okay. I think, yeah, I think she'll do that while they're still kind of busy with stuff. 'Cause they kind of had a little conversation, and while she was like setting up the dome and things like that. So I think when Wade is still checking out the statue and things like that, I think that's probably when she would sit down, getting ready to rest for the night. And she's thinking about what sort of help they might need and what she might need to have prepared for that day. And when she does that, she's kind of holding that, like, it was like a piece of bone or something,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, it's
She's,
about inch and a half long.
she's holding that in her hand, and she closes her eyes and kind of connects with that, like, feeling that she had it back in the tavern where it was like a gust of wind feeling. And she's just like, Dad, I found something and I can't really make sense of it, but it seems to be interacting with me specifically. I was just wondering, since you know things that are going on beyond the forest, could you tell me anything about this? And she just kind of quietly waits.
Yeah, you even in the dome, you feel some of that warm breeze circle around you, and sort of the sound of rustling leaves that accompanied Cathmore's last appearance, and you just hear more of a disembodied voice than anything else. Is, daughter, you are. How is it that I can see you where you are?
Um, I don't know.
You are far from the forest. Look, lend me your eyes. Look at that. Look at this thing. Concentrate on it that you're asking about.
She'll hold it out, palm open, and she's looking at it and just like trying really hard to like she like trying to give her mind over.
Yeah, and you feel as though you are looking at it from very far away, and like a distance so great that using distance to describe it doesn't really apply. Is and he just sort of gets quiet for a moment. You carry with you a shard of divine bone.
That's what.
No mere celestial. This
Oh,
was once part of a god.
oh. Then it really would be. What should I do with it? It feels weird now to have it on me.
You may do with it what you wish. Its original owner no longer exists. When deities die for whatever reason, the lack of worship, they're cast adrift on the astral sea, and occasionally some fragments of their existence make it to other planes.
If someone was holding it or had it inside their body, Would that grant them powers?
It may.
Oh,
Most creatures would not be able to hold this as an integral part of their form. It does not cooperate with life from the prime material plane in that way, but
and the way that you described it happening with Lyris, it was like this just like came out of the creature. It wasn't like it was floating around in its stomach sort of thing.
no, like one of its ribs looks like there is a chunk of a much larger bone. Like you can see part of the outside and like where the marrow would have been, just like a little fragment of a shattered bone had a rib grow out of it.
Oh, I think the creature that we ran into was not ordinary. They were controlling the whole swamp here.
And you have done well to protect the wild places in this world.
It's just like not used to like a parent telling her she did a good job. She's like, oh. So it wouldn't be hurting anyone if we kept this.
I do not believe so.
Is there any way to find out who it's from?
When a deity dies, that is only usually because memory of their existence has faded from the living races of the world.
Oh.
It may be possible in some long lost, forgotten place where this entity was once revered, if it was even revered here. It would be a difficult challenge.
Are you at risk of that happening to you?
My powers are great, but I am no deity like this.
Okay. I was just gonna say I could tell everybody about you if that would fix that. Thank you. I think she just like she closes her eyes, much to like the way that she came into his presence, and kind of starts going back into like planning mode for what she needs for the next day until she's like back here again.
And as you get back here, you know, as your senses return to this humid cave, one of the last things you feel like a hand being removed from your shoulder.
I think she'll wait until the morning to say anything about that.
You are able to get your long rest in. It's very still down here now. Perhaps a little unsettlingly so, because the swamp above had been, for the most part, quite loud until last night. Well, we've got about 12 minutes left on the stream. Is there anything else we'd like to accomplish down here this evening or tomorrow morning?
Wade, how did the controlling the swamp go, or do you know?
I'll say you feel as though whatever you have willed into this thing, it has accepted. Whatever.
It's slow progress.
Good. How long did that process take him, David?
Like you could still be willing it if you want to. You wouldn't be able to do it while you're asleep.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, was he able to do it and then get a long rest, or?
Yeah, I mean, you would be able to do as much as you can and then get a long rest and keep going. Or it's difficult to say exactly what it has done.
It doesn't give him like any feedback on like completion.
I'd say the feedback is that if you're willing it to do the same thing and it still feels like it's accepting that command and still working, then it's probably not done.
It says, "Good job, buddy."
All right. Well, I mean, we'll stay as long as he needs to feel like he's done that, and then open up something above us, and we'll go.
Okay.
Well, before I spoke to my dad last night, and he like holds the piece of bone out and is like, he told me that this was a remnant of a forgotten god, like an actual divine being.
That is pretty incredible. What it was doing in the rib of that monster, I cannot comprehend.
Well, maybe it's like you said, there's a lot of trading going on with that creature, and but yeah, he said that when people stop like worshiping people, or like they forget knowledge, or like over time they just kind of get cast into the astral sea, and sometimes parts of them are left here. And so I don't think it's a bad thing if we keep it. I don't know what it does other than, respond to me.
Well, I mean, it might be worth finding out, and if it's of use to us, it might be pretty valuable. And if not, well, I imagine people would pay a pretty penny for a part of a god.
Well, he said that like you could sort of absorb pieces of gods into your body, but most people can't, or most creatures can't really do that unless they're like, I guess, really powerful, like that creature was. But like, what if I got really powerful and then I was like, even more part god? Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be pretty cool.
I could be celestial and also part god. That would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the powers of a god myself, but who's to say? I mean, we did kill that creature. If it could withstand it, doesn't it reasonably stand that we could at least
Maybe
collect?
it's like we're very different from that creature, like in our bodies at least.
True.
Maybe you're a little bit closer to it than I am.
I'm just gonna leave that one alone.
So I did some math, and Wade is going to need 3 more hours in the morning to finish this path.
Okay, I'm willing to wait.
That's better math than mine, so I'll take it.
All right. Well, yeah, like I said, we'll hold on to it and see if we can figure anything out.
After our long rest, has Wade taken a long rest? Wade doesn't know anymore.
Yes, Wade took a long rest.
All right. Well, then we wait the 3 hours, and then once it stops accepting that command, then we'll see if you can open up that gap in the ceiling above us for Cam to look down.
Make progress in the meantime, though, right? As long as I'm within the 6-mile radius of it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, are you opening up down here, heading upstairs?
And we can head upstairs, right?
Doesn't really matter, I suppose, right? Yeah, we'll head up and out, and he can do it there. Or he can do it on the way, I guess, right? And he just wills it to be, and it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, as soon as Wade starts willing this, all of you, if you're doing it as you're walking out, all of you can start hearing, like, some shifting earth and some, like, bloop, bloop, as some chunks of dirt fall into the pond. But by the time you get upstairs, there is, I don't know, how big of a pit are you going for?
What's the range on spell?
120 feet, right?
Yep.
I was thinking we could have like how tall is like the ceiling from the crystal to like the ground level?
From the crystal to the ground level, from the top of the crystal to like the surface is probably about 30 some odd feet.
I was thinking if I could manipulate the ground so there was like, maybe a staircase to like have a platform to cover the rest of the feet, just so that there's more distance between, whatever potential reactions.
If that's what you're thinking, then it might be better off doing a opening above it for the light, and then a diagonal hole so that we aren't standing over the cave we're expecting to collapse on itself.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll do that.
Smart, because that was definitely going to happen, but now it's not something you need to worry about.
I know these things.
And Cam's just like, point me in the right direction.
Yeah, so
I assume I'm gonna have to roll something.
absolutely, this is going to be a spell casting check.
Yeah. What am I?
Wisdom proficiency.
Wisdom. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a 17 on the die.
Oh.
Well,
Wisdom plus proficiency, that would be 8. So 25.
25. Yeah, so in this moment, how's Cam feeling? She's about to do something really powerful.
She's feeling like there's this potential of maybe I could one day be a god. And there's also like that she still kind of feels the like remnants of her father's hand on her shoulder. And she's like she's channeling this magic from the distance, and I think she feels a little bit of resistance from it, and she's just like pushing back. Her hands don't move from feeling that resistance to it, and she just keeps pouring more of her magic into it.
And you can feel it fighting back, but there's a moment where you can sense that it's about to give, and there are multiple magical effects that you have the opportunity to dispel. So you don't have a whole lot of time to understand exactly what they are, but there is a magic that has been done to the crystal, and then there is a magic that is within the crystal itself. You have the opportunity to dispel either or both.
I think to the crystal is what I would go for.
Okay. Yeah. So you focus on whatever magic has been done to the crystal rather than the magic contained within the crystal itself. And you can see, even from this distance, it looks like cracks starting to run up the crystal under or along the path of those, like that green arcane net that has been kind of imposed upon it. And that net just scatters off of it, leaving the blue crystal behind untainted by green. And Wade, you can feel your attunement to the crystal end, and you can see the ground in front of you start sinking a little bit.
Was that bad?
No, that's what I was
That's
expecting.
what we expected.
Okay. There was more than one magic on there, but did we want both of them gone?
That would have been my suggestion, but seeing as how it is now out of our line of sight, I wouldn't worry too much about it.
Wouldn't we assume that's just like the natural magics from the crystal?
Yeah, I think so. And given that it was blue, it's connected to the Feywild again, and since the Fey seem to have interest in this land, they're probably going to do what they're going to do with it, and we're going to have to be okay with that.
I guess so.
Anything more to do at Marig's retreat?
Retreat.
All right.
Let's get out of
And-
here. Let's go see those Fey.
Wow.
You turn around to head back what you think is the way that you came, and where there was once an impenetrable wall of thicket, there is a cleanly marked 5-foot wide dirt path extending off into the swamp.
Good job, Wade.
Down the road we go.
All right, and I think that's a pretty good place to call it for the day.
Yeah, I think so.